All right? Shalom, shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites coming day in and day out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. First off and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. And today's lesson through the Spirit, is really going into our true culture. Not only going back to us being Israelites, but what happened after we got kicked out of Israel and certain things that happened during the Dark Ages. Because one thing Esau doesn't do, he doesn't teach us who we were before slavery. But we had to be somewhere on this planet Earth doing certain things. So when you go back to the Dark Ages, you got Constantine, the Byzantine Empire. You could go to the Nicene Council. Those was all Jakes ruling that land. Even the word Scotland, black, right. King James, Beethoven, men of that stature, that was all Jake. All right, and let me show you this real quick. Because now, let me make sure I got it right on the camera. All right, this is Nature Knows No Color Line, right? All right, by A.J. Rogers. Now, these are all the coats of arms from Europe. All right, straight up, the Anglo-Saxons. All right, they don't teach this history. Look, read the bottom. French, Dutch, Belgium families with names of Negroes. So even, the name Moor itself means black. You have the Moors, Morel. Like, this is all going back to Jake. Even when you go to the Sicilians, the Italians, all right, that's all Jake. But they do not teach that history over here in America. You could go to Europe and see all the statues of the four tetrarchs and things of that nature.
But what they will do is they'll flaunt it in your face and they'll let you know it. Give you a perfect example. In Django, when the old boy said you named the guy D'Artagnan, that means you was you liked the Three Musketeers.
Right.
But the guy that wrote it was black.
Right.
He also.
Hold on, go ahead.
Finish your change of thought. I was gonna say he also wrote
The Three Musketeers.
But he wrote what's the one where the guy gets sent to prison.
Oh, you talking about the Iron Face? The Iron Smash.
That one too.
And did that? If I'm not mistaken,
they did a movie.
King Louis. You talking about Man in the Iron Mask? Man in the Iron Mask. Which is where Three Musketeers. Right. That movie was based off of Three Musketeers. But he did write that too.
But when you think about Three Musketeers and all the other stuff was all about knighthood, like the brother just said.
The Black Knight. They didn't call the Black Knight that name for a reason. Matter of fact, they called them the Moor of Normandy.
That's right.
So the word Moor means black. So why did you have all these black kings in Europe ruling, yet nobody teaches that history over here in America?
It's a lot. Remember the Drew Hill video? They based their music video off the Iron Mask movie. They show all the people there as Jakes, man.
Yeah, royalty
And stuff. But they was correct about it.
Go ahead, man. You gotta finish that thought.
The Count of Monte Cristo.
That's what it was. The Count of Monte Cristo,
which is Jacob and Esau, pretty much.
Right. Now looking at them outside in, a lot of these people wouldn't even know. How the hell y'all know about the Count of Monte Cristo? We actually do study. We get into all that knowledge because that is us. Hey, like, what's that? Somebody get Job 8 and 8. Because it says the search of our fathers. Right. So we go back into the Dark Ages, and from there we go back into Israel, because how did we even get out of Israel? You have a book called From Timbuktu, from Babylon to Timbuktu, and they tell you how Negroes got to Africa. Now, you already had dark-skinned people in Africa, but it's two different races. We fled Roman persecution to blend amongst a people that had almost the same complex as us. That don't mean we were African, but we came from somewhere.
Okay, but the scripture says that Yahweh Shai, father, was told in a vision to take his son into Egypt because Herod was looking for him. Herod, the tetrarch, wanted to fucking kill him, or whatever the case might be. So,
you get Matthew 24. Your house has said, "Flee to the mountains."
Exactly.
And that's how we got into Africa. And those mountains that link all the way up to Morocco and all that North Africa.
Atlas Mountains.
Yeah, Atlas Mountains.
Look, they got pictures of, oh my gosh, it's Hannibal and her, everything. English. Because you can't make this up. This is English royalty. But all these are Negroes. Why they don't teach this history, man?
Step behind the camera so you can make sure you can see it.
Con, you're right, Pops. All right? Look at this. John Berner, all right? And then you got Prince Sakaru, wealthy London dandy of the 1750s. All right, you got William Davison, leader of the Cato Street conspiracy. All these men were Israelites, but they do not teach this history of how we ruled England. Why is that?
Oh, the word England means land of the angels.
Yeah, land of the angels.
The word English means angelic men. The word British means covenant men.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, that's what it means, man.
Covenant means you want to be like.
You gonna be right. You come. Yeah, there's another way of saying there's a lot.
Right.
And you know what? Let me say, just on some Jake nigga shit. You always know why Jake like that Italian movie shit and all that shit. Because that was Jake, man.
Yeah.
When you get deep into that history of Italy and Rome and Sicily, that was Jake.
I love Italian food.
Well, Salaki, that's another thing I was telling the two Jakes when I was working out up north, off of Maple and State and in Chicago or whatever, you know, up north or whatever, and the Gold Coast. And the one Jake, he's like, he was, you know, the one guy who actually understood what I was saying. He was like, whoa, you talking too fast, and he's trying to get to understand what I was saying so he can break it down. Because he's always pretty much breaking it down to his homie, because they were having a discussion about racism and classism. And we do exist in a society. The world has always pretty much been like that.
Right.
You have always had classes, but you also had racism.
You had the dominant and you had the ones that were subjected.
And that's how it's always gonna be, and that's how it's gonna be in the kingdom, man.
Yep.
You're gonna have you are gonna have a racism and a classism, and we're gonna be set up as the high authority of supremacy, as Israelite supremacy, man.
What Yahweh said he's what? The God of, he said he's like balance, man. He loves balance. So everything, you gotta have one subjection. You got the ones that who's putting the people under subjection.
Yeah, cause right, even in medieval empires, Esau was at the bottom, man. And when they started coming up to our neck, that meant what? That meant what? We was going down.
Right.
But you know, and I was talking about to the Jacob about that. I was like, yeah, those Spaniards, those French, well, not at that time.
Not that time.
Those Spaniards, because you know what? You had Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand. Those Jakes.
Yep.
Now, that's the spirit. You can't make this up. I'm looking at a picture and it literally says, Negro drummers, probably of Spanish armies in Holland and Belgium. You can't make this up. They don't teach that, man. This is a good ass. I'm gonna have to rewatch this lesson. I'm getting edified right now. Go ahead.
And that's not to say that you didn't have Esau as the Spaniards. The Spaniards that came and conquered this place. They were Edomites.
Well, just like Philip the Macedonian, how they just came and took over all the Greek shit.
Yep.
The same thing they did over here, man.
Well, but like you said, Alexander, 4 generals, when they took over, they took on the customs.
Yep.
They took on the customs of the people that they ruled
The
over.
Egyptians.
Yep, the Egyptians. Yeah, that's when the Egyptians became white.
And it's just like this. You know what? You have America. You know, you have different races in America. So if a Jake was to go over and say, it could have been an all Jake army. You know, they used to put Jake on the first battalions. They would have Jake on the front lines to die first. All right.
Okay.
Now say if Jake took.
No, go ahead. Finish it.
If Jake took over that part, what would they say? They would say the Americans took over, so Jake wouldn't get the credit for it. It'd be America, which America is what? It's an Edomite nation.
Let me get this scripture right quick. Genesis 35, verse 10-11. And the Most High said unto thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called Jacob more, but Israel shall be thy name, and call his name Israel. Yahweh's name was changed to Yasha'al. Yasha'al means he prince of power. All right, go to verse 11. And said unto him, I Alashaya, who said God Almighty, be fruitful and multiply a nation, and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. All right, so it's a prophecy that kings shall come out of Jacob's loins, man. And who ruled? That's why they call the Dark Ages. For what? That's what the so-called black man was ruling, and that's when he had Esau under subjection, man.
And then what did you have after that? The Renaissance, which means rebirth.
Right.
Now you can find that in Malachi when it says, though you build up, I will tear down. Esau rebuilded his kingdom. that daily wound was healed. This is Rome 2.0, you know? Go ahead, whatever scriptures y'all got.
All right. Somebody get that Revelation.
Hey, somebody can that Trinity. Somebody can get that Malachi.
Yeah,
I mean, not Malachi. What
Job
was
8
it?
and 8.
Job 8:8.
Yeah, Job 8 and 8. Probably.
Yeah, somebody bring that Job 8:8.
Guys, Job 8 and 8. If I inquire, I pray thee of the former age, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers.
Right, now how do you do that? You got to study your history, all right? You have to study your history. The Spirit bears witness with our spirit that we're the children of the Most High. So first of all, we got to go off the prophecies, see what happened. When the Lord cast us out of the land of Israel after we went off, what happened to us after that? Fled into Africa, the northwest parts of Europe, and we settled. And we ruled, because Esau went down for that 1,000 years when you read in Revelations. That Satan got cast in that pit for 1,000 years.
Yeah, that was between 325 to about
About the
mid-
1300, something like that.
And somebody get that Matthew 24. We fled to the mountains. That's when we started spreading out. Europe. Not to say we wasn't in Europe before, but I'm talking like in numbers and stuff. We started spreading out.
This is verse 9. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow.
Right. That's right. You know, hey man, Jake didn't wake up knowing that they just know Africa. You know, I had told the one guy about, the first slave ships came from Portugal, Spain, man. Jake doesn't know Africa. Jake don't even know we were setting up kingdoms in Africa.
It's a lot. Hey, in the old Ghana, we had gold everything, man. Gold. Even our dolls had fucking gold collars, man.
Yep.
In the old kingdom of Ghana, man.
Yep.
And
Right.
Matter of fact, what it said the kingdom of Judah. When you go to that old
Yeah.
map in like the 1700s,
Yeah.
it said the kingdom of Judah. Why was that on that map? You know? Go ahead.
Judah was trying to, because Israel was trying to recreate that peace that the King Solomon had established during his
Right.
time, and it was, hey man, it goes to show you that it wasn't gonna work during their time. That was King Solomon. That was Yahushua, man.
Right.
Yahushua, and he got a lot more further than they did. Even when he was, because most of those marriages that he was doing, those marriages for peace.
For peace. It wasn't like he was like, yeah, I'm a player. No, it was for political reasons.
And that's what, a lot of people that come into the truth, they don't understand. Which, it wouldn't have been going on if he was doing that either. But that's not the ultimate reason why he was doing it. He was doing it to create peace.
Right. And everybody liked him, man, because he was wise, man. So it was wise to do that, to take women out of different nations for peace sake, man. So everything being peace, man, and harmony.
If anything, those women would have been gifts, because you know what? Psalms 45 speaks about that, man.
Matter of fact, his name means peace.
Yep.
Solomon means man of peace.
Yes, Shalom.
Shalom. Right.
And you even call him the king of Salem.
Right.
King of peace.
King of peace.
All right.
And Malak Tazadakia, man,
Yep.
who was what? That was originally Yahushua, man, the king of peace.
Come,
Yeah.
can I push something real quick?
Go ahead.
I got one too.
Go ahead, Pops.
Okay, well, like I said, and you see how these young brothers, these young men here, are standing here throwing this knowledge around and whatnot, like the brother was saying earlier, because we're told to study right here in the scriptures. This is 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So we can correctly break this word down, and then we can link it to real history that's here in America and whatnot, and the world history itself. And that's from the apostles on down. Apostle Taha always talk about you got to understand secular history to be able to link this together the correct way.
Right.
Okay? Because if not, then somebody be able to spin you, and that's when you get tossed to and fro with fables and doctrines of devils and all this other kind of shit, because you can't keep it clean and you can't keep it straight. But once you got it locked in your mind, like I said, I sit here now sometimes, like when we used to be downtown and whatnot, when guys come up, I'll sit like when the old man came up, the old white dude and whatnot, and I'll sit there and I said, no, let's calm down. I'm gonna let him cut himself.
Right.
I'm gonna let him cut himself. He go say something that's gonna go stupid, and then we gonna be able to go in on him. We sat there and we let him say what he was saying, and when we pulled up the picture of slavery, remember? You don't know about this? How we gonna have a conversation about this? You're a Caucasian American. You don't know about slavery to us. For real?
Right.
So that's what I said. So we study, and then we can sit back and let you. It's like this is like it's like a boxing match, but like Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
We done seen everything.
Right. We got no experience.
Exactly.
We'll punch on punch.
Exactly. You know what you're gonna throw before you throw it.
What are you guys doing here?
Preaching true history.
And teaching
Yeah.
history.
Out of the scriptures.
Cool.
Go ahead.
This was a Benjamin Franklin quote.
Quote. Okay.
Right? Now he says, because this was his concerns about Germans, and the original Germans were dark skinned, were Jake. Now check this out, and this is the shit he talked. They weren't as a smart people already living in the colonies. First of all, who taught you the 13 colonies how to live? Native Americans taught you Caucasians how to live. First and foremost.
You would have died in this.
All right, because you would have died in this land.
Oh, man, at one point, and they look like us darkies. They
It's-
don't teach you that.
It says those who come hither are generally of the most ignorant, stupid sort of their own nation. They were unable to adapt to local values. Not being used to liberty, they know not how to make the modest use of it. They were endangering New English whiteness. Now this is what Benjamin Franklin said, right? He said the Spaniards, come on, say it.
Edomites.
It said the Spaniards,
Edomites.
Italians, French, Russians. Luana, I was gonna correct you sooner or later.
I had to think about
It
it.
said the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion.
That's dark.
Swarthy means black, dark. So why did he just call the Spaniards, the Italian, the French, the Russians, and the Swedes are generally of what we call swarthy complexion? As also the Germans, the Saxons are accepted.
Dark skin.
Dark skin.
Saxons go back to
Jacob.
Jacob.
The sons of Jacob,
The
man.
sons of Jacob.
Angelic sons of Isaac.
And also the word
Right.
French go back to Frank. Frank means generous, man. There's nothing. See, you're not the original French. You Edomite, so-called white people. They're the damn thing generous about you, man. All right, you're very destructive, man. You're the man of perdition.
You know how I know they hate the French?
Right.
French people know how to cook. Those the first people to order the kitchen. Right. Put the kitchen in order. Sous chef, head chef, sous chef, all that. White people don't know how to cook. You see Esau.
Although the
You see Esau.
He eat his meat raw.
and it's chicken bland, man.
Right, it's chicken blend.
That's right.
That's it.
Shake and bake. Nigga, we don't want what the fuck? Go ahead.
Exactly.
That's right.
Shit, you want the Revelations 20?
Yeah, you
I'll
get
get
the
that Matthew 24 before that. It's
the
gonna
Ma-
tell you how we got into it.
flee into the mountains.
Yeah.
I got a quick one.
Go ahead.
2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved.
Say that again.
Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High.
Right.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
And that's it. That's how we know the dark mysteries of these scriptures.
The dark parables of
The
the
dark
scriptures, the
parables.
whole deal.
That's how we know the 12 tribe side is correct. And that's how we know Jake ruled Europe, man.
That's it.
Right, and
That's
it
it.
says the Spirit bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Now, throughout this whole time, from us starting and eating until now, we've been on all places and faces of land on this planet Earth, man. We've been everywhere. The Lord said we're numbered as the sands of the sea and the stars of heaven. So we have covered every landmass on this planet Earth.
We've been scattered to it because that was part of the
Right,
that was part of the curse that was gonna be put to us, that we was gonna get scattered because of our disobedience.
Correct.
So in the process, man go do what he go do. He go get somewhere, and whatever female that's in that region, he's gonna figure out a way to populate you with her.
Fruitful,
Hey,
multiply.
it's gonna happen. But you know what? Hey, Salaki, and just for a point, this proves it. This proves it. Cause you know what? The Esau, no type of tribe of Esau, Amalek, these Khazars, these fake Jewish who are really the tribe of Amalek, they don't have to do this. We prove it, man. They don't have to go into the scriptures, do deep research to prove that it's a world-known thing. Don't you know who the Jews are? Yeah, I know who they are by research, man.
Because when it was a
And
guy
by
named
prophecy.
Rabbi,
Exactly.
so-called rabbi, cause he in the master. He'll master the lies. That's what he is. But anyway, Rabbi Cooper went on Nick Canyon's show. He ain't brought no scriptures out to prove they the Israelites. He ain't brought anything, no books and anything out. He brought up World War II. He brought up the Holocaust, World War II, and that he like so-called Motown music and shit, man. All right, these people they'll nail fool. Esau got everybody fooled, like the brother said. That he really don't got to break down. He don't really got to try to prove anything, make everybody believe this devil, man.
Yeah.
All right. Like I said, Revelation 20. But somebody get that Matthew.
I got you. Matthew 24 and 16. I'm sorry, 15.
Okay.
When therefore it shall be seen the abomination of desolation spoken by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place.
Right. 'Cause Daniel did predict the destruction of Jerusalem.
Right. 70 AD.
Yeah.
Whosoever readeth, let him understand. Then let them that be in Judea flee unto the mountains.
Yep.
And that's what happened. Because, yeah, first of all, we did actually literally get stuck in the mountain. They cut us off and we had to eat each other and shit like that.
Right.
But also, mountains represents these other nations.
Governments.
And governments, man. We
Yep.
fled to the interiors of Africa. We fled into the northwest parts of Europe. And not only that, y'all got to understand, we were already in Europe. Paul, where the hell you think Paul was going? Right, making all those travels in Tyrus and all that. That's part of Europe.
And from what you said, that proves that wasn't just talking about the literal mountains. Because you can get somebody stuck in the mountains. Why would the Lord prescribe them a place where they can't survive?
Right.
Okay, this is right quick.
Go ahead.
This is from Babylon.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
All right, let's go to page 84. It says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem, and 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
Okay, now read that slow again.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat it again slow for edification. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem.
They captured Jerusalem, so this is a siege, and this is a Flavian war tactic that they used. They never rushed in. They always wore their enemies down first and made them weak, and then they conquered.
What's happening right now?
Exactly.
That
And that's what
COVID-19.
they're doing with us.
Yep.
They want to break our immune systems down first and whatnot, because they know that they don't really want to go hands up, heads
They
up.
want to struggle.
They want us at a weakened state.
Yep.
So go ahead.
In 70 AD,
So look at this. It started in 65,
Yep.
but it took them 5 years to
Five-year
get to the
plan.
point. It took them 5 years to get to the point where they wanted to go it on in and do it. Go ahead.
in 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state
Go ahead.
with great slaughter.
With great slaughter, so they waited 5 years, starved everybody out, like you said. So people was,
happening now.
yeah, exactly. That's what they was doing now. Now women gonna lose their mind when they food stamps and everything cut
That's
off.
what happened when the COVID-19 pandemic started. They threw away all the food. They told the farmers throw their food away.
They throwing
Right,
it away
yeah.
now.
Yeah,
They doing it
they
now.
still doing it now.
Yeah.
You're right. So that's what they do, because there wasn't nothing wrong with the food, but they want to weaken the people.
They want to
and
weaken
starve
the
them
people.
out.
They want to starve them out.
donate it.
Yeah. They can do all kinds of things with that food, but they don't want to because of the fact that they want to say that there's an epidemic, that there's a food shortage, so that's going to justify the prices going up and hyperinflation and everything else that's part of
Yep.
the plagues. Go ahead.
It says during the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
So the last people that were still there, they did all kinds of bullshit to them. Go ahead.
It says during the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from the Roman persecution
Right, fleeing from Roman persecution.
and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Read that again.
The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Black, I can't even say the word Jewish. Black Jew slaves, man.
Dark skin,
Dark skin.
brown skin, ain't nobody black.
Show them that book again one more time so they can see it.
Babylon to Timbuktu
Okay.
by Rudolph Windsor.
Right, but
All
people
right.
don't know that the true Jews are black.
And he got his sources, and he got his sources from Edomite scholars, man. Right? He got his sources from Esau, man.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Esau's tongue is falling upon his head.
That's
Right.
Psalm 64, baby.
Hey, get it, Pops.
What's the old saying of if you won't have anything for a
Put it in
nigga,
the-
put it
Put
in
it
the book.
in a book. That's why the Lord said, "Blessed is he that readeth."
Right.
And then, like the elder was saying before, you know what? This goes from what? This goes to the rest of Europe, because after this, what came? The holy
Holy
Roman Empire.
We gonna get that revelation.
Oh
right.
yeah, the Narcean Council,
Yeah,
all
the
things of that
Council.
nature.
Here we
man.
go. This is Psalm 64 and 8. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away.
Right. So these books, this knowledge that's on the internet that Esau produces,
Right.
he's telling the truth about his own self. How we're the real people.
Right.
He's a goddamn bastard, a fugitive.
Right.
All right.
Right.
In our land.
Right, because what they tell the kids, you're connected to Richard the Lionheart, you're connected to King James, you're connected to the Black Knight. Right now they got Beethoven, they got Shakespeare.
All his white men.
All those were so-called Negroes, man.
And get that
All right.
Maccabee.
Those
like one
those
or
wasn't
something.
pale faces, man. Those our people.
The likeness.
All right.
I got a scripture though. Right, you getting that?
All right, we was the knights,
Hey.
the knights and the princes and the
What?
dukes and the damsels and all that, man.
But you give it, Salaki, you give it 100 years, 100 years from now, they'll say Michael Jordan was white.
Or
Like,
Tupac.
or Tupac, right?
Right.
Hey, you give it 100 years, they'll say, what's that guy that just set the world record in the 100-meter dash?
Usain
Bolt.
Bolt.
They'll say Bolt was a white boy.
Oh, you know they do the stages. What they do every year, they light up their image, and they'll say, well, one of his parents was an Edomite.
And that's what they've been doing with Martin Luther King.
They just totally bleach out.
With Martin Luther King, they've been lighting up his image because he was about my color, man.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, you Martin, they say.
Okay, this is
Go ahead.
this is Jeremiah 17:4, and thou even thyself
Oh,
shall discontinue from thy heritage. So the brother said, they don't teach us our heritage. This is our heritage. This book is
Right.
about us.
And when we go to that word heritage, it's deep. Not
It
only
is
is
deep.
our land, it's our language, it's our customs, all right? It's our culture. Literally, you got these niggas talking about black culture. You guys have no idea what true
Real
Israelite culture is, man.
Yep.
Culture of the king.
It's a lot. Another secret is
I like that culture of the king, shit.
Those Irish slaves, those Scottish slaves, those Welsh slaves, those was Negroes, man.
Yeah.
All right, that's another.
Hey, even the Vikings.
right.
All that
Spirit,
weird,
right.
man,
Yeah,
them
them
niggas
was
was
niggas.
Jake, bro. Straight up from the way these niggas talked, the honor they kept,
Right.
even though they was going clean off.
Clean the fuck
But
up.
they was on that Valhalla
They
shit.
they false gods.
Was
It's
Jake.
the same gods that Gad worship, man. So-called Native Americans, man.
Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Right.
Right, Odin.
'Cause they was the same.
All
damn
that shit ain't nothing but Zeus, Hercules, which all was all niggas anyway. And I'm telling you something about Jake.
The Danish.
It's legends. Like Jake would tell a story about a man and just boost him up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
God.
yeah.
So well, Jake started worshiping him and certain
Just
shit
like the
that.
gangs today. Hey, you got the legends of who? The gangster disciple name. You got Larry Hoover.
Yeah,
and then you got
Right.
what's the other one name? Stones.
You got
wanna get his name
David
right. Jeff Ford.
You
Yeah.
got David. What's his name? King David.
King David.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
yeah.
got all them niggas and all whatever. Fuck them because those.
But it's just an
niggas,
example of
whatever, niggas.
how Jake legend them up.
They
you know?
legend them up like that,
Right.
man. Then they start serving men more than the Most High.
And that's
Yeah.
how it be. That's how it's always happened, man. Especially after a nigga's death. You know, and
Bro,
then
oh
Jake,
my
bro,
God, I hate that shit.
Jake
bro.
will bigger.
Oh,
and that's,
Tupac. That's another one.
It's only one man's death that I'll turn
Yahweh
up
Shai.
to. And that's Yahweh Shai, because the man
That's right, that's right.
got up out the grave and everybody else got up out the grave. That's hard. That ain't happened with none of you other weak ass
None
niggas
of
that
these
died.
them
Give
niggas
Yahweh
say-
about Shimmy Yahweh Shai they respect, man. Straight up.
Exactly, man. But yeah, Jake will big a fucking motherfucker up to the fullest, man. But it's just like if you watched it, what was it, the Legend of Hercules, where it had fucking the Rock.
Which one, the Rock played?
The
Yeah,
Rock,
I
yeah.
like that
And-
one.
and
He had a hell
and-
that always called out and all his great feats and whatnot.
Right.
And that one was kind of realistic because you know what?
Right.
It was more realistic than the actual story of Hercules. 'cause
another-
He was a mighty man.
he was just a mighty man, right?
Another thing is, you could tell some Jakes descended of the original Irish in them. In Ireland, they say Finn, which means five. Jake say Finn today.
And on the fin.
On the Finn.
Hey, you got that
Hey,
fin
man, you
ball?
got that Finn, man?
That's Jake, bro.
That's
Yeah.
Jake. And if y'all can't see that it's Jake, then it's You guys are lost, man. Hey, I thank Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for giving me my true culture. Because when you read, somebody get Ephesians 2 real quick. Bible Kushai, let's just run it down real quick.
There we go with that Revelation.
Bible Kushai.
Yeah.
You can start at the top. Because it talks about something about our commonwealth. Well, our commonwealth is our culture.
Right.
That deals with the law, statutes, and commandments, and certain statutes that the Lord gave us to abide by, man.
Right.
All right? That's our true culture.
Ephesians, what now?
2.
Okay, come on. Use your fingers, man. I'm in the book of Ephesians right there. But my pages sticking together and I'm holding the bunch of stuff.
Hey, that come from reading. That come from reading and researching, man.
There you go.
All right.
Okay. Ephesians, okay. I got you. Okay. Ephesians, I'm starting at 11.
Perfect.
Ephesians 2:11. Wherefore, remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hand. That at the time ye were without Mashiach, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
Right, so when we didn't know this truth, we was alienated. We was heathens.
Yep.
Literally, we were heathens.
Okay.
Because we didn't know who. It's just like when Adam and Eve was in that garden, they put those twigs and they had strange apparel on.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel and strangers from the covenants of promise, having no hope and without the Most High in the world. But now in Mashiach Yahweh Shai, he who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Mashiach.
Right. So now we're being reconciled. Because at one point in time, we was alienated from our commonwealth. These scriptures are our commonwealth.
Can I get the beginning of when we start getting alienated? This is
yeah, perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
First Maccabees, I'll start with
That's
10.
hard. Come.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 10. And there came of them a wicked brute Antiochus, surnamed Epippius, son of Antiochus the king, who had been in hostage at Rome, and he reigned in 137 year of the kingdom of the Greeks. In those days went there out Israel wicked men.
I just was there. Hold it. Go ahead.
Okay, hold.
No.
Okay.
Go ahead. No, read.
Okay, who persuaded men, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we departed from them, we had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after ordinance of the heathen. So it's like king that gave them okay, you could do after the heathen.
Which, hey, Salaki, which is what these weird ass Israelite leaders do now.
Yeah.
Listen to Esau. You could be a homosexual. God accepts everybody. You can eat pork. You can do. That's exactly what they doing.
As a matter of fact, we got a ham dinner that's
Right.
going to consist of cornbread
Honey baked ham.
and greens. With hey, and I know
Even the greens got ham hocks in it.
Oh,
They ain't got no turkey tails in that.
Which, you know what? And it says it gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen.
That's it.
It's saying that they took that their laws and they brought it to us. That you had those fucking, you had these niggas that were so lewd, and you had Kamala Harris. They want to bring that bullshit to us, man. You had these so-called, like the brother said, the Negro leaders, man. That was you niggas back then, man.
Hey, Isaiah said the leaders of this people caused them in the air. Go ahead.
So like, I mean leader, not king. But anyway, it says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Right, because exercise, gym go back means naked.
Yep. Right, gymnos.
Right, because they said exercise naked and wrestle naked, man.
Now listen, it's nothing wrong with working out, but when you get into that Greek shit, that's a different. Now, I mean, about to wrestle, nigga. He got a whole, especially when you
get to sweat.
especially when you in wrestling, when you shoot and you grab a nigga, your balls all right here and shit like that shit.
But that's not the only thing that it's talking about, because the word exercise going into that scripture means practice. They definitely did that shit. They did that practice shit.
Right.
But they did all the shit these niggas was doing, man. All the shit that we was not allowed to do, man. They
did it.
And the word
And the
faggot
Lord
means
said-
bundle of sticks.
Right.
Just-
And the
yeah,
Lord
okay.
said he didn't give us Lord didn't give us a license to sin. So these other guys did everything after the license of the heathen.
All right,
the same thing that's going on today. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. It's okay. It's okay. It said 15, and made themselves uncircumcised and
Without the law.
forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief. All right.
So that's what these people was doing then, and that's what they doing now.
And that was yeah. Go ahead.
want to say
And
that.
that's what I'm saying. And the flip side,
He got that
like you said,
bend.
you know,
could be,
here we
Jay.
is. They had a president about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, signed into law homosexuality and the whole deal on that, and they want to think that it was us. We didn't sign that. That was a Hamite, and them Hamites was known for that homosexual stuff.
Right. Yeah.
All right, hey, good. You comedic niggas. You really want to be comedic?
Right.
Get kinetic in the asshole. And I don't mean to be rough like that, but that's what them Egyptologists, when you go into that history, you go into Seth and all that, how he caught his own brother's seed in his hand. Like, that's homosexual, man.
Well, a lot of the thing is that Jake don't want to receive it, and they want to say, "Oh, well, Esau practices worships of Satan because he can't get to the Most High."
He can't get
and guess what? A lot of that shit is homosexuality. The fucking the Pizzagate pedophilia, that shit goes back to fucking Egypt and fucking Rome, and it also goes back to Greece, and it also goes back to Babylon. The fucking goddamn the eye shit. That's what? That's a booty hole. That shit goes what the Egyptian shit.
Brown eye.
Yeah, it's brown eye, man.
Brown eye.
That's just fucking gay. And y'all call it the eye of Horus. Guess what? That's a boy's butthole, man.
Right. The eye of Horus. All right? Straight up. It's written right in there, man.
She was laughing on the other side, but guess what? These people worship Egyptology and they don't understand that the whole eye of Horus, it actually is the literal worship of a fucking butthole, man.
Right.
The man held down and raped his own
it's-
brother.
it's a-
Oh my gosh, man.
That
Like,
shit is horrible,
But
man.
yeah, but that's like your first Maccabees does begin of the Gentiles in the Bible, man.
right, because that was our beginning to go on the way. Matter of fact, where's that? Corinthians, the 12th chapter says the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
I got something for you right
Which
here.
is, it started what? It started in your mind.
Let me go right here.
Go ahead.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 14. I'm going to start at 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever.
Right. Horus wasn't in the beginning. Iris wasn't in the beginning. Ra wasn't in the beginning. You know who was in the beginning? Let me tell you, his name is Yahweh. Before he made anything, he considered it. Then he made Yahweh Shai and everything else was made. Horus and all them bullshit gods was not around because they ceased to exist. Simply put,
They imaginary.
you got these niggas that came out of Egypt and built a golden calf and said these be the gods that saved us. Nigga, when did you see a floating golden calf save your ass out of Egypt?
Hey, matter of fact, like I said, the time frame on that is, if you think about it, there was 90 days by the time they got to the mount, and then Moses went up into the mountain for 40 days. So they wasn't gone
just keep it
120
during this
days
tape.
out of all the miracles, and they going the hell off. They wasn't gone 120 days from watching the miracles, and here they is going the hell off. Because it gives you a time frame. It gives you a time frame from where they went to where they went to, and how much time it took in the course of 3 months or whatever. And then Moses went up, like I said, Moses went up there for 40 days. And so that's only 120 days, like 130 days that they was out from Egypt and all that.
Like,
It was in the 4th month
Yeah.
when that jumped off.
Right, because what they said, since we depart from the heathen, we had much sorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, you had sorrow.
Cucumbers,
You had
melons,
sorrow 'cause
garlic.
you was some wicked Negroes, and you had to obey Yahweh Bashem Shah. That was a sorrow to you, man.
Yeah, but
that's why you call you the two-thirds.
Exactly, and they showed you that here. What happened when they cut off the food stamps? Remember that fat lady on the thing in the video? She went there and started tearing up shit. Call the police! Call the police!
But you know what? That's what you niggas get for leaning on Esau so much, man.
My
Straight
food
up.
stamps don't work. Call the police!
And it's just like, hey.
Somebody go take care of me.
elder-
If I can't eat, y'all gonna lock me up. Something gonna happen. Somebody taking care of me.
The elder brought up Moses. You know what? They saw Moses get taken up in the chariot. And they said, as for Moses, we know not what have been of the man. Basically, he paraphrased like, shit, we don't know the fuck he at. You saw him get taken up. You saw the miracles.
It's a
Moses. Moses
big-
got taken up into the chariot.
It's a big chariot over the mountain. What else do you think he at? Like,
He got taken up. That's what it talked about. Because when the Lord was up, when he was up there in the mountain,
Oh, he went to the mountain.
he went to the mountain and the Lord brought him up.
the Lord brought him up. And they was like, we don't know what happened to him. Like, y'all saw him go up to the Mount Sinai, man. The Lord beamed him up to Mount Sinai to speak with him, man.
They just being wicked, man.
Faithless, man.
Right. Because what John 8 chapter 44 said, Yahweh said you are like your father, the devil, man. So
That's
you
right.
the 2/3 of you Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latino, Native American, man, you're devils, man.
Yeah.
All right, that's
the
why.
bulk of y'all.
Right, that's why I said.
Two-thirds.
That's why you said in first back. Oh, it was a sorrow system to party from the heathen.
Yeah, we can't eat.
Wicked, man.
We can't eat.
Right.
Our food is, and then
They couldn't eat that damn shrimp.
Yeah, they couldn't eat all that bamboo
They
stuff.
didn't want
but they
their
like-
prongs.
They didn't want the manna. They didn't want none of that.
Bro, the Lord gave them manna and it would have tasted like
Like
anything
anything
they
they
could
wanted.
imagine, man.
Anything they wanted in their mind, that manna was going to have that flavor to it for them.
Right, they get some of that roast.
Jake
lamb
wanted
with
some
beef.
flesh, man. That,
Yeah.
and the Lord filled the quails all the way to your nose.
Yeah,
That's what
made-
you
made
get,
them
man.
sick.
Man and
Straight
straight
up.
chicken and biscuit.
Oh yeah,
Right. Chicken and biscuit.
Hey, but get that Revelation 20.
Come.
All right, but before I say
I got
that,
it.
if you go to the Blue Letter Bible, go Antioch, and you hit it, and you look in there, and you look a little more, it said Antioch, the place of the Greek Jews. So that's a cut. Let you
Greek
know
customs.
to let you know that the Gentiles, and the Greeks in the Bible, those were Israelites, man. They
Yeah,
were
when you
Israelites doing Greco-Roman customs.
Yeah, when you look up the number, it's 1672, and that goes in the ethnos, and that goes back to Israelite that took on the fucking heathen customs.
Right.
Period.
All right, and then that Syro-Phoenician woman that Yahushua talked to, that was an Israelite woman that was living in the Greek control of Phoenicia back then, man.
So,
All right,
Yeah, because it called that word for Greek. For Greek with her, it said Greek by nature. It said, what is that? That was Hellenist too.
right.
So that proved that she was a Jake.
See, with Jake, her prayer with answers, man.
Yep.
All right,
In the faith, yeah.
yeah. All right, go ahead.
Start verse 1. This is Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. It says, "And I saw an angel come down from heaven,
And that's your Yahushua. All right, go ahead.
having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon,
That's Esau. Go ahead.
that old serpent, which is the devil,
Deceiver. Go ahead.
and Satan,
Adversary. Go ahead.
and bound him 1,000 years."
Right, so Septimius Severus, I think in the year 93 AD, if I'm not mistaken, 93 AD, that's when he came out. Him and he got a couple brothers that was got a lot of gladiators. Those were Israelites.
Needs the accounts.
All right, yeah, right. So he got them together. They had a revolt, and they conquered Esau. They knocked Esau upside the head just like in one day. So man, it took like approximately 1,000 years to get control of Europe, man. 1,000, a little more. All right, go ahead.
Well, this is before the Nicene Council.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's
No,
what
no,
I'm saying.
'cause
Oh,
prophet said
okay,
that.
go ahead. Yeah.
And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon, because you know Jake was still going off and doing that paganism shit
Right.
too.
Right.
And set him up. It's like and set a seal upon him that he should be deceived. It's like that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season.
Right.
And this is that little season.
Right.
Revelations 12 and 12. He got a short time to wreak havoc. Because he know he's going down. So
Right.
one thing about Esau, if he going down, he going to try to take down
It's
the whole
another
system.
scripture. It's another scripture I believe in Revelation 13. It said a leper shall lick his head. That's what Esau did the Renaissance period. They came back to rule.
But like you said,
Yeah.
the scripture said that if it wasn't for the elect, this man would kill all flesh. All flesh would be destroyed. So like you said, but like Shapayo was saying though, so since that can't happen, the Lord wouldn't allow him to just totally get that kind of dominion where there was no way for us to get back to where we need to be. The relics and everything for us to be able to tap into and have our heritage be proven with hard evidence. So like the brother said, we done did this and taught this so much now, starting with the apostles on down, that now we don't have to prove we the Jew. Y'all got to prove that y'all who y'all say y'all
Right.
are.
As a matter of fact, what we know is on a
Step up a little bit.
what we know is basically on a bachelor's or master degrees level, man.
Right.
All right.
Hey, since you said that, like I told you, I had a guy that had said he had a master's in theology on the bus. And after he said that, I guess he thought I was supposed to bow down and get cowardly. He was like, oh no, now I'm about to find out what the fuck you think you know for
The
real.
study of gods. There you go. Theology. The study
Theology.
of gods. There's only one true power.
Exactly.
Right. Hey,
Unless you studying us, nigga. Shit.
Matter of fact, the infamous Oxford University in England, that was started by Israelites, man. The Moors who taught the Jews that knowledge, and they went to England and they started Oxford University. Those were started by our people, the Israelites, man. All right, but see, Esau had that history, man. That's why they say he should be loose for a little season, and he should be deceive the world, man. But the point we'll get into when we put him subjection during the Dark Age, I'm gonna get to that point. Then you go to the relics and stuff, the artifacts and stuff. Go ahead.
This is verse 4. It says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years."
Hey, that's coming up soon, because you're going to have some what they call them, martyrs.
Martyrs.
You're going to have some martyrs for this word, man. That's coming soon, because a lot of those that elect, and those that elect 1/3, they're not going to take the mark.
Yeah, period. They're not. They're not going to take it. They're going to have the correct name, and they're going to be willing to die.
Yeah.
The process of. And like I said, but between that and as what the scriptures say, there's no greater love that you can do than lay down your life for a brother. Hey, they gonna remember what Yahushua did for them. They gonna do it in return. And guess what? And it ain't that they go earn it, but because they held on to him. He said, if you hold on to me, I'm gonna give you a crown of life. You give up this life, I'm gonna give you a crown of life.
That's right.
Because you know that's the gift that the Lord actually gave us, man.
Right.
Really, hey man, anybody that want to call themselves, oh, I love the Lord, I love Jesus, well, they're not giving their life unto the Lord.
Right.
Yeah, that's why it says,
they ain't doing the sacrifice.
And you're gonna see a lot of people who claim to be Christian or conscious. They're gonna take that chip, man.
yeah, you claim the Lord died for you, but you won't die for him. You people are hypocrites.
You ain't gonna die for them.
That's
right,
it.
right, man. You're gonna see a lot of hypocrites, man. You got a lot of Christians, a lot of Muslims, a lot of people that so-called conscious, command people, and all this stuff. A lot are gonna take the chip, man. A lot are gonna take it, man. All right, because they don't have no faith in Yahweh.
Man, you know, like I said, first of all, knowing that the elect is who they is, and knowing number-wise and this, that, and the other, more of the elect will be women than it is guys, because of the fact that guys gonna have to have, you know, you gonna have your rule.
We're not the elected 1/3.
Well, the 1/3, my mistake, right? The 1/3. That's what I meant. The 1/3, exactly. So even in that makeup, but then you still got the 2/3, and that's gonna be more women than men in the process of that. So, like I said, so this is all about the makeup and the composition, and this makeup and composition was deemed from the beginning.
Yep.
You can't make a 1/3 or 2/3, and you can't make a 2/3
Hey,
or 1/3.
can the leopard change his spots? Shit.
Which, you know, the word elect, it means chosen. So, you know what? I mean, there is no women a part of the 144,000.
It's like not that.
When we say elect, we're talking about the 144,000.
Right.
But technically, the 1/3 is the elect because they're chosen.
Right.
Elect means chosen.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Give a little bit.
What you got? You got scripture?
Yeah, get that out.
Come on. He gonna bring this out while
Okay.
you.
All right.
John, which I was going over, Revelation 13:3.
Go ahead.
And I saw one of the heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
So this is America now. This is, like you said, Rome 2.0. They follow that behind Rome until the riches and whatnot started to fall off, the money started to fall off, the denarii or whatever it's called didn't have as much silver in it, this, that, and other. So like the brother, like this elder was saying here, when that started happening, there wasn't nothing to set up and be able to take them down, because of the fact that, like you said, you had a lot of military men that was Jake, that had earned their trust of their battalions or whatever in the process, so they had military might, because of the fact that, hey, anybody know anything about wartime scenarios or whatever the case might be, if you've got a guy that's in charge and he's right there in the battlefield with you, he earns your respect, and you're ready to follow him now. We'll do whatever we got to do. The same way with the Maccabees. The guy was a warrior, and he had men that was willing to follow him.
Right. Yep. And those were obvious so-called Negroes.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So that's what happened in the Roman Empire. You had some guy, look at Cornelius. Okay?
He was an Israelite.
He was an Israelite.
Matter of fact, we had a picture icon from Jerusalem showing Cornelius and so-called Negroes, also his army, man. we had that.
Right.
All right.
Great.
Go ahead.
Oh, yes, this is from the book,
Exactly.
100 Amazing Facts About the Negro with Complete Proof by J.A. Rogers.
Right.
Page 12 says the arts, and verse 7 of that page, it says the oldest known representation of the human body is that of a Negro woman.
No, go right
You
ahead.
want
8.
to skip to, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
eight.
this is verse 8. It says Beethoven, the world's greatest musician, was without a doubt a dark mulatto.
Man, he was a so-called black.
Mulatto.
And they try to use that mulatto too, but it's talking about. All right, go ahead.
He was called the Black Spaniard.
Uh-huh.
His teacher, the immortal Joseph Haydn, who wrote the music of former Austrian
Anthem
national anthem,
was
was
colored.
colored too.
Yep. But see, they're not gonna teach you that, man. They're not gonna teach you that in
Hold on. So
in
hold
history.
on. Let me get this correct so y'all can understand. We were sold to our enemies here in this country, forced to work the land, wind up being the people of the Lord, and you really think that this Edomite is going to tell you your history? For real? Okay, so if my history is this, then what language was I speaking? Because if I read this book long enough, it says if I start calling on his name in the language, he's going to rescue us.
And that's going to be detrimental for the people that were persecuted.
Exactly. That was doing the persecuting.
So if I know I was doing this person right, I'm not going to let you learn that.
Hell no! Hey, that would be stupid of me.
Right.
That would be stupid of me. But see, here's how the righteous the kingdom is. Y'all gonna want to deny y'all Edomites, and we gonna beat that shit in you. You are a Edomite. You are a Moabite.
Hey,
you are
just
Ammon.
The same way that you guys beat lies into us, 'cause you know what?
We
It
gonna
says-
beat the truth
Gonna
in
beat the
you.
truth.
It says the deception's going to be put out, man.
That's right.
Oh,
That's
get this
right.
right here, page
Ah.
27. Get that. Page 27. 8.
This is
Same book.
page 27 of the same book. In verse 8, it says, Frederick Hertz, German anthropologist in Race and Civilizations, well, I guess is another reference,
Yeah.
refers twice to Beethoven's Negroid traits in his dark skin and flat, thick nose.
But see, but again, like we said, they show you this in bits and pieces. They'll tell you this in a movie and whatnot. In Django, they told you this in the movie, and the whole deal. That's what I said.
True
so
romance.
Huh?
True romance.
Yeah, true romance.
Yeah.
Oh, true romance.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
and-
that was
that was a hell of a breakdown because he knew he was getting ready to die, so he said, I might as well tell you the
He
truth
cut
about
him,
your
he
punk
cut him.
ass self.
That's right.
That's it. You a nigga. Hey, them niggas did so much fucking. They changed the whole landscape. You went from blonde hair and blue eyes to brown skin and dark eyes
And he was
because
trying
they
to-
did so much fuck.
He was trying to make that as an insult, because, hey man, to be, whether Jake wanted to receive it or not, Esau, a lot of nations look at being dark skinned or any type of trait related to being Jake is a curse. They look, like, because we are a cursed people, man.
But here's
not
what's funny.
for long though.
But here's what's
Not for
funny.
long, right?
They look at us being cursed, but them Italians love to lay out in the sun and go brown on.
But some of my niggas.
Exactly.
They want the original tone back,
Exactly.
and that's why he was. You know what? In that movie, he was trying to make that into an insult. It's like, little do you know, you're a nigga too, motherfucker. You ain't white like me, motherfucker.
It was funny that his Hitchman, they ain't had a problem with it. It was his ass.
Right.
Cause they was like, yeah, whatever.
All right, yep.
Yeah, yep. Go ahead.
It says, Frau Fisher, an intimate acquaintance of Beethoven, describes him thus: short, stocky, broad shoulders, short neck, round nose, blackish brown complexion.
Right. Like his.
That sound like Chicago.
Yep. Yep. Because nobody, like I said, nobody actually black. It said blackish. And he was a dark brown.
But he said black brownish.
Black brownish.
Black brownish, stocky. Like you said, that
Right.
sound like Chicago.
Right. Yeah.
Crime.
Yeah, that's
Am I lying? It sound like Chicago.
Yeah.
I call him sawed off for a reason.
yeah. Keep it. In him speaking. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
And speaking of the immortal Haydn, who was Beethoven's teacher, Andre de Hevesi says, everybody knows the incident
Kiss
at
Martin.
as Kiss Martin or
Eisenstadt.
Eisenstadt, the residence of Prince Esterhazy.
Go ahead.
And
Esther Hazy. Go ahead.
Esterhazy in the middle of the first Allegro of Haydn's symphony. His Highness asked the name of the author. He was brought forward. He said, "What?" exclaimed the prince. "The music is by this Blackmore."
Go ahead, my fine what?
He says, "Well, my fine Blackmore, henceforward thou art in my service."
There you go, man. But see, you go to school, we was calling these kids that what Beethoven
was white
is a
man.
pale face, a so-called white man.
Hey, pale face, wearing that motherfucking pasty ass wig that George Washington used to wear back in the day. Not the whole deal.
Right. Hey, Amadeus, Mozart, man, was a so-called Negro, man. All right, what does Amadeus mean?
It means a friend of God.
A friend of God.
In the Bible, you see that in the book of Acts, it's called Theophilus.
Yep. All right, but they're not gonna teach you that, man. Welcome to that nation has no color.
I'll put it back over there.
That's still dealing with that. Like I said,
just bring out what you want.
But that all these things that we showing you, that all the artifacts. Cause see, first of all, this book is our base. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is always gonna be our base, and this is how we can distinguish the bullshit from the bullshit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that box right there. Yeah. That this base. This is our base, and everything either lines up with it or goes against it. The stuff that lines up, we can show you, and the stuff that goes against it is the lies. Okay? Is the lies. Real simple, real easy, ain't hard to figure out. Ain't hard to figure out at all. Like I said, that's how we not gonna get tossed to and fro by all these fables and jacked up ass doctrines and whatnot. If we don't line up with descriptions, we ain't dealing with it.
And that's why it says that, it's a common quote. It says, "Mightier than the sword is the pen, man." The pen is mightier than the sword. Because you know what? Nobody questions history. Nobody goes into the
it's his story.
It's his story.
It says history is written by the victim. Esau's ruling the world right now, so he gonna tell it like he want to tell it.
And you know what? The conquered and the rest of his and the rest of his descendants and the people that he the conqueror and the conquered, they will all learn the same thing, man. Nobody's gonna question it, man. But guess what? They never counted on the Lord to bring all these things out, man.
Right. Matter of fact, this history right here, this is what the Ku Klux Klan got us. Their costume ideas from us, man. We was wearing this in Spain, man. I'll read this, page 100, the same book.
Now we have no points of reenacting that though.
It said, "Today the descendants of these Spanish Negroes are quite bleached from mixing with their white neighbors," showing that you got people over there, the Israelites, they look like Edomites, man, but they're Israelites, man. All right. It says, "But the old Negro tradition remain. The Negro Church of Nuestra Senora de Los Angeles and the Barrio Carmona is still maintained by them. Priests, guides, and others in Seville informed me that the garb is exactly like that of centuries ago. For early information on these Negroes, as they call in Seville, see Zunica Annales de Seville, published in Mandarin in 1617. Later, the Negroes rose to position of prominence and had a count after who won the streets is still named. If the original Ku Klux Klan did not copy the garbs of these Negroes, then the coincidence is real amazing, right? Cause you look at Ku Klux Klan, you look at some of the guards, they got like the crescent moon and the 5-point star, but it's like in reverse, man. Mm-hmm. And then they got what? The Quran, which is the Quran was where Israelites was the Moors was dealing with Islam. Right? They dealt with the Quran, man. All right, so they take these. They don't teach you that in the classroom, man.
Nope.
They're not gonna teach you that, man. They got everything from. It says what? Jeremiah 51. Jacob is the former of all things, man. Mm-hmm. All right. So, anybody got anything else?
Yeah.
There's go ahead.
Etymology on Ku Klux from the Greek Kluklos, circle, cycle.
Oh, so that pretty much goes into that. What is that going to? That moon shit. Which that's symbolism. Of course, Jake was still going the fuck off, man.
Right.
Jake was going off. Like we said, you ain't about to see us. That's like, hey man, the Druids, who the first Druids was, they was Jake, and they were still going the fuck off.
Exactly.
That's not originally our heritage, but Jake did start that shit.
Right. Tattoos and dreadlocks.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of shit that Jake started that's not our heritage. But they started
but they start shit. Like I said, like you said, the form of all things. Everybody want to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigga. The whole deal. They want to take on our flavors and all kinds of stuff. You know, hey, you got a song that's over 20-something years old, but they still use the commercial. I like big butts. They still use the
Hey, you
soundtrack.
said they want to take our flavor, but they don't want to take the time to marinate.
Exactly.
It takes time to be Jake, man. You just can't do that shit overnight, man.
Exactly.
Like, hey, the Muslim religion is the same thing. Because guess what? That descended from the Roman Catholic Church. And the Roman Catholic Church, they use that as a tactic. But guess what? Even during that time, Jake fell into that bullshit.
Right.
Jake fell into that bullshit. Not just with the Arab slave trade, which happened afterwards. You still had Jakes that were fucking Moors and were going the fuck off.
Right. And it's funny you said that about the Jews,
Now, it's
man.
like when I say more, just to clear,
It's good. It's all good.
more about when I say more, because you had different classes of Jake.
Right.
They were called Moor all at once, but the actual original Moors were Jake that were fucking Muslims.
Okay. Well, like, and it's funny that he said that about the Druids, because, like I said, you know, a lot of the beats that the Beatles had in some of their early music, the beats that Ringo Starr was laying down was that of Druid beats and the whole deal. That's why the music it had incantations and stuff on it to begin with, so that's what drew people into it. Right. And whatnot, and that's how come, like I said, you know, outside of Michael Jackson, when he topped them, they had some of the biggest record sales ever.
Yep. And yeah. And what you don't know, Michael Jackson was he's a Gadite, man. He's paternal descendant from a Choctaw man.
And it's funny because you say that, and then you look at some of his dance moves and whatnot and all that.
Like
he moved just exactly.
He was doing that.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
All right, this is from the book Nations No Color Line, page 81. It said, in the Doomsday Book, the great survey made in 1085 and 86 by the order William the Conqueror found to be with the name Moor or derivative of Moor as Morinus, Mauritania, that is Mauritania or Morocco. The earls and dukes of Dorset, Shemai, used to call the Negro valets. The earls and dukes of Dorset used to call the Negro valets Jean Morocco. There are also a number of black as black man, black mer, another form of black Moor.
You also had Moro, you had Moreno.
Yeah.
You had a lot of names that were played with shit. My cousin, his last name is Moore. You know, I think it's still a fucking Reubenite. But that goes to show you that name had traveled, and you had any type of name that we related to reverted back to being dark skinned.
Here you go right here. It said to sum on page 99. It says to sum up why many families with Negroes in their coat of arms, especially those names which are derivative of the word Moor, Negro, Black Moor, are of Negro ancestry. First, they were of that old British stock which opposed invaders as the Romans, Danes, Saxons distinguished themselves in doing. Second, they was Negroes in the Roman armies who later founded families, Africans and Orientals, talking about Israelites from Africa and Israelites from Asia, like the Middle East, Arabia, and all that stuff. All right. When you hear Oriental, it's basically talking about when it's talking about our people, it's talking about the Middle East, the Levant.
Well, I mean,
meaning from the East.
I mean,
That's
right. If you think about that, though, like I said, I can't remember whether it was a ninja or a samurai. I think a samurai. You had to be a samurai. You had to have
a black blood.
You had to have black blood in you.
Yep. There's like blood in you, man. It says. It says they were Negroes in the Roman army who later found families, Africans and Oriental Israelites, all right, were encamped in Germany at that time, say Hertz, third Christianized Moors. All Moors was in Islam, man. You had some Moors, they still obeying the law, statute, commandments, man.
Which is where that broad over name of Moor came when they labeled all Jake, because you had Jews in that time, and you had Christians and you had Muslims all throughout Europe.
Hey, what you had?
They were all Jake.
What was it? The Holy War.
The Holy
basically.
War, yeah.
Exactly.
The Holy War.
Exactly.
You had the Muslims versus the Christians.
Crusade,
Hey, what was
Crusade.
it?
The Holy Crusade.
The Holy Crusade. What was his name? The love story that
you talking about Romeo
made.
and Juliet?
Romeo and
Which was
Juliet.
based off of
Yeah.
that.
One
Yeah.
family was Muslim, the other one was Christian.
And it was the same race.
Yeah.
Here go page 108, who joined with the English, French, Germans, and other crusaders in Spain and Palestine, well as slaves, mistresses, and even wives brought from Spain and the Near East Negroes even then were coming in the homes of great lords, having those as fashionable, man. All right, all these were Jakes, man. Anyway, those Jakes living with Jakes, man. All right, so let's just show you, man. Our people. I'm gonna continue reading. In Fort Atkins blacks of the Middle Ages or later slave period were found royal flavor who were their Negro members of the Hanseatic League, the great mercantile guild of 14th, 15th century. The patron of the guild was Saint Maurice, a Negro foremost Catholic saint of Germany. The ornate building of the guild and its Negro head still in Riga, revealed Estonia, as was shown some of the Negroes in their coat of arms took names signifying their origin, but others were adopted to family took the names of latter or even other names. Thus might be explained the presence of Negroes in the coat of arms of hundreds of other families, man.
And you know what? That whole thing goes back to like when I was having the conversation with those Jakes, then they were talking about classism. And you know what? Back then, Jake did have classism. And shit, even, you know, you want to say amongst this thing of ours, Jake has classism. And you know what? Originally, it's really about the truth, but classism does exist. But at the same time, racism came in where that was, and guess what? That's when you had the Spanish Inquisition. What was the Spanish Inquisition about? It was about Esau bringing down Jake.
Erasing history.
Hey, hold on. The kingdom is going to have sections or whatnot, levels to it. Okay, classism and whatnot. The 2/3 isn't going to be the same as the elect or the 144,000. They're going to be all Israel. They're going to all be blessed. They all going to still be able to, once they in the kingdom. But like I said, as Apostle Taha says all the time, there's levels to this.
That's right. Let me get this right here, page 122. It said, as a result of importation of Negroes, many Southern Italians and Greeks in the 18th century was so dark that when Napoleon ran short of Negroes for his black brigades, he used them. Sicilians were then much darker than now.
Of course. The same way. I'll give you a perfect example. The same way these nigger women get with these Puerto Rican men so that their kids can be like.
All niggas.
All niggas, but she want her kid to have better grade of hair. So she get with a Puerto Rican.
Me and my wife was watching Catfish, and we had pinpointed this one nigga. And was like, she just got with him because because he looked like a Southern Kingdom nigga. Maybe slightly lighter than me. The nigga was a nigga. Nigga didn't even speak Spanish. He was just he could have just said he was Puerto Rican and she bought the shit. But the point is that she went for that shit just like you said because she thought it sounds better than just being with the average Negro. That's that classism. You know, even though they don't realize that we're the same race, Jake don't never realize that, but it's a classism. It sounds better than just being with a regular nigga. You know?
Right.
Exactly. So
hey, they was when Esau occupying Jerusalem, man, for 65 cents. You had a lot of, it was like women. They was selling out and going with the Roman soldiers, man, for those benefits and stuff, man.
Hey, look, our women was going with them men on the boat and whatnot to get a easier ride coming over.
And that's what Esau made that rule in Jerusalem. Esau wrote the law that in order you could be a Jew according to your mother, man, because a lot of women they was getting popped by the Roman soldiers, and they knew by the Torah. They knew by the Torah. Their kids, what they knew. By the Torah, their kids wasn't Israelites, man. Those were Edomite tares, man.
Exactly, and that's and even to this day, that's how come the Amalekites declare their pedigree through their mothers.
Yeah.
Because they won't line up with through their fathers.
And that's what it goes back to, man.
Exactly, they won't line up through their fathers. You can trace their fathers, like you said, through Alexander, the Macedonian, back to all the way back to Agag, and then Amalekite and whatnot. And you can take that all the way back to Esau.
Yeah.
I got Numbers 1 and 18, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigree after the family by the houses of their fathers.
But you know what's so funny about that chapter is brothers never hit Numbers 1 and 2. That whole chapter literally talks about your fathers. When you read down from the whole thing, it's talking about your fathers, man.
Yeah, exactly, it does. I mean, you can go into different sections of it and whatnot. You know, you got Levitical priests that couldn't prove that they was priests, so they couldn't eat of the holy things and whatnot till they could get a guy with a Urim and Thummim to be able to prove their pedigree. So yeah, so
Cause it went back by your
you
father.
overthrew him.
It didn't
Yeah,
go.
the
It didn't go back
little
by the lineage of your mothers. It went back by your fathers. If anything, if it ever went by the lineage of your mothers, this is who your mother married.
Right.
And who
Yep.
this, and who
exactly. Oh,
Right.
so if you're going to say that, that would have meant that boy that they put to death because he was talking about the Lord, who the wife was an Israelite, but his father was an Egyptian.
Yeah.
And whatnot, he would have been looked upon as an Israelite based off of that because she was an Israelite.
Yep.
Bullshit. They
Hey, but
go ahead.
hey, Timothy, his father was Greek. They all thought he was a heathen.
That's right.
His mother was a Jewish, which
Right.
means she kept the law. And to keep the law, you have to marry a Hebrew Israelite husband.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. And Paul, he only dealt. Paul, it said in spiritual, Paul was a prisoner of Yahushua. So Paul gonna do everything Yahushua tells him to do, man. Which come from Yahweh, man.
Okay.
All right. So Timothy definitely was a Jake, man.
That's right.
Most
All right. Just like you got some of it go by the reason why Esau don't want to go
Shit, he
back.
ain't got 2 books in the Bible
Right.
for no reason.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. Come.
Shit,
The
too.
reason why Esau don't want to go back the scriptures,
First
man.
Timothy, 2 Timothy.
Oh, I
Because-
think somebody.
The reason why Esau don't want the reason why Esau like that maternal rule, anything, cause he could put his seed and he could rule over that nation, man.
I think Paul wrote too.
All right, and that's how you got like the tribe of Gad over here, especially on the eastern coast. A lot of them was dark, man. A lot of them was charcoal dark, man. What happened? What they started letting their daughters marry the Edomite explorers and fur traders, man.
Yeah.
And then what? Their children took over, man. That's why today you got a lot of Edomites ruling over these so-called Native American tribes, the Gadite tribes, man.
Well,
Right.
who the fuck was Cesare Borgia? He was the Duke of Valentinos. How did he become that? He married Jake. He married into a Jake family, man.
Yeah.
And Jake was going the fuck off, and that's the reason why that was allowed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Matter of fact, Queen Victoria, she was the last Jake to sit on the throne, I believe, in 1910. Esau made her. They married. She married an Edomite, man. That's why they cut out that bloodline, man. Cause that guy, he was an Edomite, who wasn't an Israelite, man. Queen Victoria was the last legit Israelite to sit on the British throne, man.
And to stop going through this shit that we're going through constantly right now, guess what? We're gonna have to get right, and we're gonna have to, cut all ties with Esau.
Yep.
And the Lord's gonna have to destroy Esau. Otherwise, y'all want this shit. Y'all always complain about getting up in the morning saying all this bullshit. Well, we found a solution. Well, the Lord gave us a solution. Salaki.
Right. Somebody
Come.
get scripture on that, and we gonna end it.
Get the scripture on that. And it's funny that brother said that because, like you said, there's a guy at the job, same thing. He's always happy-go-lucky and all this other dumb shit. And it's like, for real? And like I said, I used to think that getting up at 3 o'clock to be at work by 5 was bad. Now I gotta get up at 1 to be at work by 3.
You know what's fucked up? At this age, Pop, you should be chilling. That's how America
Exactly,
bullshit, man. You should be chilling right now, man.
Like you got a full grown ass man been working the majority of his motherfucking life, and you still,
Me, I'm 30. I've been working 25 years of my life. I
Well, you
bullshit
too,
not.
Hey, but nah, you too. Hey, Jake should be sick and tired of this shit. Hey, we still do what we have to fucking do because at the end of the day we can't live on fucking complaints, man.
Right. Hey, what he say? If you don't work, you don't eat.
I got it right here.
Oh, you in my spirit. But I was gonna say it. I'll let it go.
Leviticus 26 and 40. It said, if they should confess their iniquity and iniquity of their fathers, approved by you go by your father, all right, which with their trespass, with they trespass against me, and that also they walk contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them to the land their enemies, if then their uncircumcised hearts be humble, because remember we just read how they uncircumcised themselves by making that covenant with the Greeks in First Maccabees.
They covenant with
Yep.
death.
It said the covenant with death. That's right, Isaiah 28. It says, if then they uncircumcised hearts be humble, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because now they can't accept their punishment, man. Why the white man beat us, man? Why God do this and do that? Hey, your house I told you through Moses. He told you through Moses in Deuteronomy 26:8, no man shall buy you, man. You gotta
No, man.
hey man, you gotta eat that bit of herb, man. You gotta serve that punishment, man.
He
You
said
gotta
bread
serve
and
that prison.
sorrows.
That's right, man.
Right.
All right? You gotta take that punishment for a while, man. All right? Then I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham, will I remember, and I will remember the land, and the land shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Sabbath while she lieth desolate without them, and they shall accept of the punishment of them, because they despised my judgment, because they saw abhor my statutes, man.
That's right.
All right? It says, and yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them to destroy them utterly.
The Lord said, hey, for one, the Lord says there's no end of the people, and he said, let's, hey, man, even if I bring a full end of the nations, I will make not a full end of thee. So the Lord won't completely destroy us. He's just jacking us up so we get the understanding of how we fucked up. So the fact that the Lord is killing a lot of Jake should understand that you have greatly fucked up and you should repent.
Hey, look at the tribe of Benjamin. Left 300 men.
Was it
Right.
6?
Right.
Something like he killed a lot of them.
Hey, well, you know what? What they say? It was about 500. 500,000 Puerto Ricans. 500 Puerto Ricans that was left on the island after the conquistadors that came there. Why did the Lord do that? The Lord didn't just bring us down for no fucking reason. Like all these happy, peaceful people. The Lord just brought a whole nation of fucking white people to destroy them. No, the Lord didn't bring the devil over here for no reason, man.
Right. It says, and because they're so abhor my statutes, and you violate his laws, statutes, commandments, and yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, and destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. I am Yahweh, their power.
And that's what's, hey, we're in the land of our enemies. Because America, yeah, you can say America was our land once upon a time ago. That is not so right now. Esau has fully taken over. This is his land. It's governed by his laws. It's in his power. So this is his motherfucking land. This is America, right? It's named after Amerigo Vespucci. That's named after a fucking goddamn cracker, man. So with that, we are in the land of our fucking captivity in the midst of our goddamn enemy, man. Look at him in the face. Right. And what are we supposed to do? We're not supposed to humble down to him. We're supposed to tell him that he did wrong, humble ourselves down to the Lord, and get right.
Right. It said Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5, stand in his face bold. Man.
Yep.
All right. It says right here, verse 45. Yep. It says, but I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am Yahweh. These are the statutes, judgments, and laws which Yahweh made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses.
And that, you know that it's also a Wisdom of Solomon scripture where it says, when they think that you're not full of power, then he shows it. I'm roughly paraphrasing, but that's hey, the Lord humbled us, so you know what? Then we can get to understand we're humbled down. He'll give us the knowledge of who we are and what we ought to do, and then they ain't the children of the Lord. Look how he fucked them up. The God fucked them. He didn't love these people. These people are wicked. But then he brings out that understanding since we've been humbled out of the few that's gonna get it, and then that's when he makes his power known. And then what does it say? I think it's in Wisdom of Solomon. It says, "Then thou show that thou art of a full power, man." Right. So I get that real quick.
All right, somebody get that. Then we go. You get what scripture y'all want. Then we gonna get out of here. All right.
Because hey, that's the only reason why the Lord did this, so they can make his name great again throughout the earth, man. He said, what did Yahushua say? He said, Father, glorify thy name. He said, I have glorified, I will glorify it again. How's the Lord going to glorify his name? He's going to destroy this wicked ass place called America, man.
That's right. That's right. Somebody go ahead and get the tape.
Get that and we'll close it out. This is Wisdom of Solomon 12 and 17. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 16. It said, for thy power is the beginning of righteousness, and because thou art the Lord of all, it maketh thee to be gracious unto all. For when men will not believe that thou art of full power, thou showest thy strength, and among them that know it, thou makest thy boldness manifest. But thou, mastering thy power, judgest with equity, and orders us with great favor, that thou mayest use power when thou wilt. But by such works hast thou taught thy people that the just man should be merciful, and hast made thy children to be of good hope, that thou givest repentance for sins. For if thou didst punish the enemies of thy children and to condemn to death with such deliberation, giving them time and peace, whereby they might be delivered from their malice. Right.
Anybody got anything else? That's it.
All right.
Go ahead, close it out.
Hey, man, just keep on pushing, brothers, man. We almost up out of here. Gonna end it off. Give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekakwadash. And double honors to the elders and apostles once again. Shalom and a Bible ball.
A Bible ball.